Ever wondered why some people just seem to let you down again and again? Well, let's dive into some no-nonsense wisdom with harsh truth you need to accept about people from a Stoic perspective. Trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end because these insights can change how you see the world and transform your interactions with others. So let's get started. Stoicism teaches us that people are flawed just like us. This isn't a negative viewpoint, but rather a realistic one that can actually empower us. By understanding and accepting this, we can better manage our expectations and reactions. Imagine you're expecting a perfect response from a colleague or friend, and they fall short. Instead of frustration, Stoicism encourages us to accept that human imperfection is natural. This acceptance doesn't mean we excuse poor behavior, but it helps us approach situations with a clearer mind and less emotional turmoil. Truth: 1. People are inherently self-interested. This may sound harsh, but it's an observation rooted in Stoic philosophy. By nature, individuals tend to prioritize their own needs, desires, and survival. This doesn't mean that people are selfish in a negative sense, but rather that self-interest is a driving force behind much of human behavior. Understanding this can significantly help us manage our expectations. When we acknowledge that others are often motivated by personal interests, we are less likely to feel betrayed or disappointed when their actions do not align with our own expectations. For instance, if a friend cancels plans at the last minute to attend to their own needs, accepting that they are simply acting out of self-interest can prevent hurt feelings and resentment. Instead of taking it personally, we can choose to see their decision as a natural part of being human. This shift in perspective allows us to approach our relationships with a more balanced and objective mindset, reducing emotional volatility. By internalizing this truth, we not only become more resilient but also cultivate a deeper sense of empathy and understanding towards others. The second truth is not everyone will like you. This may feel uncomfortable, but it's a reality we all must face. The Stoic principle of indifference teaches us how to deal with this. Indifference means recognizing that the approval or disapproval of others is beyond our control and therefore should not dictate our self-worth or happiness. Imagine you meet someone new and they seem uninterested or even dismissive. Instead of feeling hurt or trying to win them over, Stoicism encourages us to remain indifferent to their opinion. This doesn't mean we become cold or unfeeling, but rather that we understand their opinion does not define who we are. By focusing on what we can control, such as our own actions and reactions, we maintain our inner peace and self-respect. This mindset also allows us to be authentic without the burden of seeking constant approval. When we accept that not everyone will like us, we free ourselves from the endless and often futile pursuit of validation. This truth is liberating because it reminds us that our value is not determined by external opinions but by our own principles and virtues. So, the next time you face rejection or disinterest, remember the Stoic principle of indifference. Embrace who you are and continue to act with integrity, knowing that your worth is inherent and unshaken by the fluctuating opinions of others. The third truth is people often act out of ignorance. This is not to judge or look down upon others, but to recognize that everyone has different levels of understanding and knowledge. Many times, people make decisions or behave in ways that seem unreasonable or even hurtful, simply because they do not know any better. Stoicism teaches us to have empathy and patience in such situations. Imagine someone cuts in front of you in traffic. Instead of reacting with anger, consider that they might be unaware of their actions or perhaps they are having a tough day. By choosing empathy, we can diffuse our own frustration and maintain our peace of mind. This does not mean we condone improper behavior, but we approach it with a mindset that seeks to understand rather than to judge. Empathy allows us to see beyond the immediate action and recognize the human behind it, fostering a more compassionate and patient attitude. When we understand that ignorance drives many actions, we can communicate more effectively and respond more constructively. Patience plays a crucial role here as well. It helps us pause and reflect before reacting, giving us the space to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. This measured response often leads to better outcomes and more harmonious interactions. By internalizing this truth, we cultivate a sense of calm and resilience, allowing us to navigate our relationships with greater wisdom and kindness. So, the next time you encounter behavior that seems ignorant or inconsiderate, remember to practice empathy and patience. These virtues not only enrich our own lives but also create a more understanding and compassionate world. The fourth truth is everyone is fighting their own battle. We often forget that the people we interact with daily have their own struggles and challenges that we may know nothing about. According to Stoic teachings, this awareness is crucial for cultivating compassion. Imagine encountering someone who is visibly upset or acting out of character. Instead of reacting with irritation or judgment, Stoicism encourages us to consider that they might be dealing with personal issues. This perspective fosters a sense of compassion and understanding. When we recognize that everyone has their own battles, we can approach others with greater empathy and patience. This doesn't mean we overlook harmful behavior, but it allows us to respond with kindness and support. Compassion in this context is about acknowledging the shared human experience of struggle and suffering. By embracing this truth, we can create more meaningful and supportive relationships. It also helps us manage our own emotions, preventing us from taking others' actions personally. The Stoic principle of sympatheia, or mutual interdependence, teaches us that we are all interconnected. Our actions and attitudes can significantly impact those around us. By practicing compassion, we contribute to a more harmonious and understanding community. This mindset not only benefits others but also enriches our own emotional well-being. When we extend compassion, we build resilience and inner strength, fostering a more balanced and peaceful life. Therefore, the next time you encounter someone who seems troubled or difficult, remember that they might be fighting their own battle. Approach them with compassion and understanding, and you'll find that this not only improves your interactions but also deepens your own sense of empathy and connection. The fifth truth is you can't change others, so focus on improving yourself and accepting others as they are. This is a core principle of Stoicism that teaches us to redirect our energy towards what we can control. Often, we get frustrated trying to change someone else's behavior or attitude, but the reality is that we have no power over other people's choices or actions. Stoicism encourages us to accept this fact and instead focus on our own growth and improvement. Imagine you have a friend who consistently makes poor decisions and it worries you. Instead of wasting your energy trying to change their ways, Stoicism teaches us to practice acceptance and focus on our own responses and actions. This doesn't mean we stop caring about others, but we recognize that true change comes from within. By concentrating on our own development, we lead by example and potentially inspire others to reflect on their own behavior. This shift in focus not only reduces frustration but also empowers us to live more authentically. When we accept others as they are, we cultivate a deeper sense of peace and resilience. Acceptance doesn't imply agreement with every behavior but acknowledges the reality of human nature. It allows us to form more genuine and respectful relationships. By dedicating ourselves to self-improvement, we align with Stoic virtues such as wisdom, courage, and temperance. This approach fosters a balanced and fulfilling life as we channel our efforts into areas where we truly have influence. So, the next time you find yourself trying to change someone else, remember that the most profound impact you can make is through your own actions and character. Embrace the Stoic practice of focusing on your own growth and acceptance, and you will not only enhance your own life but also create a more authentic and harmonious environment for those around you. The sixth truth is people will let you down. It's an inevitable part of human relationships and a scenario we all encounter at some point in our lives. From a Stoic perspective, these disappointments are not just challenges but opportunities for growth and resilience. Imagine a close friend fails to support you during a difficult time. The immediate reaction might be one of hurt or betrayal. However, Stoicism teaches us to view such situations through the lens of acceptance and inner strength. By acknowledging that disappointment is a part of life, we can prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally. This preparation doesn't mean we become cynical or detached, but rather that we build a strong foundation within ourselves to weather these storms. Developing resilience starts with understanding that external events and actions of others are beyond our control. What we can control is our reaction to these events. Instead of dwelling on the disappointment, Stoicism encourages us to focus on how we can respond constructively. This might involve setting healthier boundaries, communicating our needs more effectively, or simply choosing to forgive and move forward. Each disappointment becomes a lesson, a stepping stone towards greater emotional maturity and strength. Building resilience also requires practicing self-compassion. It's important to acknowledge our feelings of hurt and disappointment without letting them consume us. By treating ourselves with kindness, we can process these emotions and emerge stronger. Strength, in this sense, comes from the ability to face disappointments head-on and use them as catalysts for personal growth. Over time, this approach not only makes us more resilient but also enriches our relationships. When we accept that people will let us down and choose to respond with grace and wisdom, we create a more balanced and fulfilling life. So, the next time someone disappoints you, remember the Stoic principles of acceptance and resilience. Embrace these moments as opportunities to build inner strength, knowing that each experience is a part of your journey towards greater wisdom and tranquility. The seventh truth is envy and jealousy are common emotions. Understanding that these feelings are a natural part of the human experience can help us navigate them more effectively. Stoicism offers valuable techniques to manage and transform these emotions into growth opportunities. First, recognize that envy and jealousy stem from comparison. We often measure our own worth against others' achievements, possessions, or status, leading to feelings of inadequacy. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own path instead of comparing ourselves to others. By concentrating on our own values and goals, we can reduce the impact of envy and jealousy on our well-being. Imagine you see a colleague receiving a promotion you wanted. Instead of harboring jealousy, Stoicism encourages us to reflect on what we can learn from the situation. Perhaps this is a chance to reassess our own career goals or develop new skills. By redirecting our focus from others to our own growth, we turn a potentially negative emotion into a positive catalyst for self-improvement. Another key Stoic technique involves practicing gratitude. Gratitude shifts our perspective from what we lack to what we have. By appreciating our own accomplishments and the positive aspects of our lives, we can diminish feelings of envy. For instance, take time each day to reflect on things you are grateful for. This practice not only eases jealousy but also enhances overall contentment and satisfaction. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of accepting what we cannot control. Often, envy arises from desiring things that are beyond our reach or influence. By accepting the limitations of our control, we can reduce the intensity of these emotions. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation, but rather recognizing where our true power lies in our actions and attitudes. This understanding helps us focus on what we can change and let go of what we cannot. Finally, cultivate empathy towards those we envy. Instead of viewing them as competitors, consider their successes as sources of inspiration. Recognizing the effort and struggles behind their achievements can foster a sense of connection rather than rivalry. Empathy allows us to celebrate others' successes without diminishing our own worth. So the next time you encounter feelings of envy or jealousy, remember these Stoic techniques. Focus on your own journey, practice gratitude, accept what you cannot control, and cultivate empathy. By navigating these emotions with wisdom and resilience, you not only enhance your inner peace but also contribute to a more supportive and harmonious environment for everyone around you. The eighth truth is people are often inconsistent. Human behavior can be unpredictable and can vary from day to day based on emotions, circumstances, and countless other factors. Accepting this inconsistency is crucial for maintaining our peace of mind. Imagine a co-worker who is friendly one day and distant the next. Instead of letting this inconsistency disturb your peace, Stoicism teaches us to accept it as a natural part of being human. This acceptance helps us avoid unnecessary stress and frustration. By understanding that people's actions may not always align with their words or our expectations, we can approach our interactions with greater resilience and patience. This doesn't mean we lower our standards or tolerate harmful behavior, but rather that we recognize the inherent fluctuations in human nature and adjust our expectations accordingly. For example, if a friend fails to keep their promises sometimes instead of feeling let down, we can remind ourselves that inconsistency is part of being human. This perspective allows us to respond with understanding rather than anger. We can communicate our feelings and set clear boundaries without letting their inconsistency disrupt our inner peace. Embracing this truth also involves reflecting on our own behavior. We, too, can be inconsistent at times. Recognizing this shared human trait fosters empathy and reduces judgment towards others. By cultivating self-awareness and striving for our own consistency, we set an example for others while maintaining our peace of mind. Additionally, practicing forgiveness is essential. When faced with inconsistent behavior, choosing to forgive rather than hold grudges helps preserve our tranquility. Forgiveness is not about excusing poor behavior, but about freeing ourselves from the burden of resentment. It allows us to move forward with a clear mind and a compassionate heart. The Stoic principle of focusing on what we can control is particularly relevant here. We cannot control others' behavior, but we can control our reactions and attitudes. By accepting human fallibility and choosing to respond with patience and understanding, we safeguard our peace of mind. So, the next time you encounter inconsistency in someone's behavior, remember the Stoic approach. Accept human fallibility, practice patience, and focus on maintaining your own inner peace. This mindset not only enhances your resilience, but also fosters more harmonious and understanding relationships with those around you. The ninth truth is many people are driven by external validation. In a world where social approval, likes, and accolades often define worth, it's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of validation from others. However, Stoicism teaches us to find fulfillment from within rather than relying on external approval. This mindset not only fosters self-sufficiency, but also creates a more grounded and resilient self. Imagine posting a photo on social media and anxiously awaiting likes and comments. When the response is less than expected, feelings of disappointment may arise. Stoicism encourages us to shift our focus from external reactions to internal values. By emphasizing what truly matters, our character, virtues, and actions, we liberate ourselves from the constant need for validation. This doesn't mean we reject all forms of feedback, but rather we prioritize our internal compass over external judgments. To stay grounded, practice self-reflection regularly. Reflect on your actions and decisions based on your own values and principles instead of how they are perceived by others. This habit helps align your behavior with your true self, fostering inner peace and confidence. Additionally, set personal goals that align with your values. By working towards goals that reflect your principles rather than societal expectations, you build a sense of accomplishment that is independent of external approval. This approach nurtures a deeper sense of fulfillment and reduces the impact of fluctuating external feedback. Another key technique is practicing gratitude. By appreciating what you have and recognizing your own achievements, you reinforce self-worth that is not contingent on others' opinions. Take time each day to acknowledge your progress and the aspects of your life that bring you joy and satisfaction. This practice shifts your focus from seeking validation to appreciating your own journey. Also, cultivate a support network of individuals who share your values and encourage your growth. Surrounding yourself with like-minded people can provide constructive feedback and support without the need for superficial validation. These relationships are based on mutual respect and understanding, fostering a more authentic and supportive environment. Finally, embrace the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control. External validation is beyond your control, but your actions, thoughts, and attitudes are within your power. By channeling your energy towards what you can influence, you maintain a sense of agency and build resilience against the ups and downs of external approval. So, the next time you find yourself seeking external validation, remember the Stoic teachings. Ground yourself in your own values, practice self-reflection and gratitude, set personal goals, cultivate supportive relationships, and focus on what you can control. By doing so, you nurture a self-sufficient and resilient self, capable of finding true fulfillment from within. The 10th truth is some people will use you. Recognizing this and setting healthy boundaries is essential for maintaining your well-being. Stoicism teaches us to be vigilant and wise in our interactions with others. While it's important to be kind and helpful, it's equally important to be discerning about who we trust and how we manage those relationships. Imagine a colleague constantly asking for favors but never reciprocating. Over time, this one-sided dynamic can lead to resentment and burnout. Stoicism encourages us to recognize such patterns and address them with clarity and firmness. By setting healthy boundaries, we protect our own energy and prevent exploitation. This doesn't mean becoming distrustful or unkind, but rather being mindful of our own limits and ensuring mutual respect in our relationships. Setting boundaries might involve saying no when we are unable or unwilling to take on more responsibilities, or having an honest conversation about reciprocity and fairness. These actions help establish a balanced dynamic where both parties respect each other's needs and contributions. Stoic principles emphasize the importance of self-respect and integrity. By setting boundaries, we honor our own worth and ensure our actions align with our values. This practice not only safeguards our well-being but also fosters more authentic and respectful relationships. Furthermore, recognizing when someone is using us allows us to make more informed decisions about who we invest our time and energy in. It's important to surround ourselves with people who appreciate and respect us for who we are, not just for what we can do for them. This selective approach to relationships enhances our emotional resilience and overall happiness. So, the next time you feel taken advantage of, remember the Stoic teachings on setting boundaries. Recognize the situation, communicate your limits clearly, and prioritize relationships built on mutual respect and understanding. By doing so, you protect your well-being and cultivate a more balanced and fulfilling life. The 11th truth is people may misunderstand you. This can be frustrating and even painful, but it's an inevitable part of human communication. Stoicism teaches us that seeking others' understanding is often beyond our control, and what truly matters is staying true to our own principles and intentions. Imagine you express a heartfelt opinion or take a meaningful action, only to find out that others have completely misconstrued your words or deeds. Instead of feeling disheartened or defensive, Stoicism encourages us to remain steadfast in our intentions. Accepting that misunderstandings happen allows us to focus on what we can control: our own thoughts, actions, and responses. It's important to communicate as clearly as possible, but even then, others might still view things through their own perspectives and biases. This doesn't mean we should stop trying to explain ourselves or give up on meaningful interaction. Rather, we should strive to express our intentions with integrity and honesty, while being at peace with the fact that not everyone will see things our way. By adopting this mindset, we can reduce the emotional turmoil that often accompanies misunderstandings. Instead of seeking validation or constantly correcting others' perceptions, we can channel our energy into living authentically and in alignment with our values. This approach not only fosters inner peace but also strengthens our sense of purpose. Another key principle is to practice patience and empathy. When others misunderstand us, it's often due to their own experiences, knowledge, or lack thereof. By approaching these situations with a calm and empathetic perspective, we allow for more constructive dialogue. This might mean taking a moment to listen to their point of view and gently clarifying our own without becoming defensive or frustrated. Furthermore, staying steadfast in our intentions involves a commitment to our own growth and self-awareness. Regular self-reflection helps us understand our motivations and ensures that our actions align with our values. By being clear about our own intentions, we can navigate misunderstandings with confidence and composure. It's also helpful to remember that not every misunderstanding needs immediate correction. Sometimes letting go and allowing others to hold their own opinions can be the most peaceful path. This doesn't mean we ignore significant issues, but that we choose our battles wisely, preserving our energy for what truly matters. So, the next time you find yourself misunderstood, remember the Stoic teachings. Focus on your own principles and intentions, communicate with clarity and empathy, practice patience, and reflect on your own actions. By remaining steadfast in your intentions, you maintain your inner peace and integrity, regardless of how others perceive you. This mindset not only enriches your own life, but also sets an example for others, fostering more genuine and understanding relationships. The 12th truth is the crowd is often wrong. Embracing the courage to follow your own path is a central tenet of Stoicism. This principle teaches us to trust our own judgment and values, even when they conflict with popular opinion. Imagine being in a situation where the majority endorses a belief or action that feels fundamentally wrong to you. Instead of succumbing to the pressure to conform, Stoicism encourages us to stand firm in our own convictions. This doesn't mean being contrarian for the sake of it, but rather having the discernment to recognize when the crowd's direction goes against our principles. Following your own path requires both courage and integrity. It involves making decisions based on reason and virtue, rather than seeking approval from others. This can be particularly challenging in a world where social acceptance often seems paramount, but it's essential for living an authentic and fulfilling life. Imagine being at work and witnessing a widespread practice that you believe is unethical. While it might be easier to remain silent and go along with everyone else, Stoicism teaches us to act in accordance with our own values, even if it means standing alone. This kind of moral courage fosters a deep sense of self-respect and inner peace. It's important to understand that the crowd's approval is fleeting and can be based on superficial or misguided principles. By staying true to ourselves, we build a stable foundation of self-worth that isn't swayed by the changing tides of public opinion. Another aspect of following your own path is the willingness to accept the consequences of your choices. This might mean facing criticism, isolation, or even failure. However, Stoicism reminds us that these external outcomes are beyond our control. What we can control is our commitment to our values and the integrity of our actions. Over time, this steadfastness not only builds personal strength, but also earns genuine respect from others. People may initially resist or misunderstand your stance, but consistency in following your own path often leads to long-term recognition and admiration. The Stoic principle of living in accordance with nature also supports this truth. It emphasizes aligning our actions with our rational nature and the universal order rather than the whims of the crowd. By doing so, we achieve a harmonious and purposeful life guided by wisdom and virtue. So, the next time you find yourself at odds with the majority, remember the Stoic wisdom. Embrace the courage to follow your own path, trust your own judgment, and act with integrity. This approach not only strengthens your inner resilience, but also sets a powerful example for others, encouraging a more thoughtful and principled society. The 13th truth is people are quick to judge. Whether it's due to preconceived notions, misunderstandings, or simply the tendency to form opinions swiftly, judgment from others can be harsh and often unfounded. Stoicism offers invaluable guidance on handling such criticism with grace and strength. Imagine receiving unsolicited advice or negative feedback about your choices, appearance, or actions. The initial reaction might be defensiveness or hurt. However, Stoicism teaches us to view criticism as an opportunity for growth rather than a personal attack. The first step in handling criticism like a Stoic is to remain calm and composed. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a moment to breathe and collect your thoughts. This pause allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than defensively. By maintaining your composure, you demonstrate inner strength and resilience. Next, evaluate the criticism objectively. Ask yourself if there's any truth or constructive feedback in the criticism. Stoicism encourages us to separate the message from the emotional delivery. Even if the criticism is delivered harshly, there might be valuable insights that can help you improve. By evaluating criticism rationally, you can use it as a tool for personal growth. It's also crucial to remember that not all criticism is valid or worth internalizing. Some judgments are based on others' biases, misunderstandings, or insecurities. By practicing discernment, you can filter out unhelpful or unfounded criticism and focus on what truly matters. This approach helps maintain your self-esteem and confidence while remaining open to constructive feedback. Another key Stoic principle is focusing on what you can control. You cannot control others' opinions or judgments, but you can control your response to them. By focusing on your own virtues, actions, and growth, you build a strong foundation that isn't easily shaken by external criticism. This internal focus empowers you to stay true to your principles and values, regardless of others' opinions. Additionally, practicing empathy towards those who judge you can be enlightening. Understand that their criticism often reflects their own experiences, fears, or limitations. By seeing beyond the judgment, you can respond with compassion rather than resentment. This empathetic approach not only diffuses potential conflicts, but also fosters a more understanding and supportive environment. Finally, embrace the idea that criticism is a part of life and an opportunity for resilience. Every judgment you face is a chance to practice patience, fortitude, and humility. By viewing criticism through this lens, you turn potentially negative experiences into moments of personal growth and strength. So, the next time you encounter harsh judgment or criticism, remember the Stoic teachings. Stay calm and composed, evaluate the criticism objectively, filter out unhelpful feedback, focus on what you can control, practice empathy, and embrace the opportunity for resilience. By handling criticism like a Stoic, you not only protect your inner peace, but also cultivate a more grounded and resilient self. The 14th truth is not everyone will appreciate honesty. While honesty is a core value in Stoicism, it's important to recognize that truthfulness can sometimes be met with resistance or even hostility. This is because people have varying levels of comfort with facing the truth, especially when it challenges their beliefs or behaviors. Imagine offering constructive criticism to a friend, only to be met with defensiveness or anger. From a Stoic perspective, this reaction is beyond your control. What matters is how you balance your commitment to honesty with the tact required to deliver it effectively. Balancing truthfulness with tact involves delivering your message in a way that is considerate and empathetic. It's not about diluting the truth, but about presenting it in a manner that is more likely to be received positively. This means being mindful of timing, tone, and the specific words you choose. For instance, instead of bluntly pointing out someone's mistake, you might frame it as an observation and offer supportive suggestions for improvement. This approach not only preserves your commitment to honesty, but also respects the other person's feelings and dignity. Practicing empathy is crucial in this balancing act. By putting yourself in the other person's shoes, you can better understand how your words might impact them. This understanding helps you tailor your message in a way that is both honest and compassionate. For example, if you need to address a sensitive issue with a colleague, taking a moment to consider their perspective can guide you in finding the right words that convey your message without causing unnecessary harm. It's also important to recognize when to speak and when to remain silent. Not every situation requires a direct confrontation or immediate honesty. Sometimes, waiting for a more appropriate moment or choosing to let minor issues go can be the wiser course of action. This does not mean avoiding the truth, but rather exercising discernment in how and when to share it. By doing so, you ensure that your honesty is effective and constructive. Furthermore, practicing self-reflection helps you maintain the balance between truthfulness and tact. By regularly assessing your own motives and methods of communication, you can ensure that your honesty is aligned with Stoic virtues such as wisdom, courage, and justice. This reflective practice fosters a more mindful and intentional approach to delivering truth, enhancing both your relationships and your own personal growth. So, the next time you find yourself in a position to share an honest truth, remember the Stoic teachings on balancing truthfulness with tact. Deliver your message with empathy, choose your timing and words carefully, practice self-reflection, and be mindful of when to speak and when to remain silent. By doing so, you uphold the value of honesty while fostering more understanding and respectful interactions. This approach not only strengthens your relationships but also reinforces your own integrity and wisdom. The 15th truth is people change. Acceptance and adaptability are key Stoic virtues that help us navigate the inevitable transformations in our relationships and interactions. Life is a constant state of flux, and the people around us are no exception. By embracing this truth, we can foster resilience and flexibility in our responses. Imagine a childhood friend who moves away and gradually becomes distant. While it's natural to feel a sense of loss, Stoicism teaches us to accept this change with grace. People evolve due to various factors like new experiences, beliefs, and circumstances. Accepting this change means understanding that it's a natural part of life. This acceptance doesn't negate the value of past connections, but instead honors the reality of growth and transformation. Adaptability, another core Stoic virtue, involves adjusting our expectations and responses to align with current realities. If a colleague who used to be highly collaborative suddenly becomes more withdrawn, instead of reacting with confusion or frustration, we can adapt by seeking to understand their new perspective or situation. This approach not only preserves our peace of mind, but also fosters more supportive and empathetic relationships. Embracing change requires a willingness to let go of past attachments and expectations. This doesn't mean forgetting or devaluing past experiences, but recognizing that clinging to static images of people can lead to disappointment and conflict. By adapting to the present moment, we better appreciate the dynamic nature of human relationships. Another aspect of adaptability is the ability to evolve ourselves. Just as others change, we too must be open to our own growth and transformation. This self-awareness allows us to navigate changes in our relationships more smoothly, as we are continuously reflecting and adjusting our own attitudes and behaviors. Practicing gratitude for the present moment is also essential. By appreciating people for who they are now, rather than who they used to be or who we want them to be, we foster more authentic and fulfilling connections. This gratitude helps us stay grounded and positive even amidst change. So, the next time you notice someone in your life changing, remember the Stoic virtues of acceptance and adaptability. Embrace the transformation with grace, adjust your expectations, and appreciate the present moment. By doing so, you not only enhance your resilience but also cultivate deeper, more meaningful relationships. The 16th truth is many are controlled by their emotions. This can lead to impulsive actions, misunderstandings, and conflicts. However, Stoicism offers profound insights into developing emotional intelligence and managing our reactions more effectively. Imagine a situation where a colleague reacts angrily to a minor inconvenience. Instead of escalating the situation or taking it personally, a Stoic approach involves understanding the powerful role of emotions and responding with calmness and empathy. Emotional intelligence, according to Stoic philosophy, starts with self-awareness. This means recognizing our own emotional triggers and understanding how they influence our thoughts and actions. By being mindful of our emotions, we gain the ability to pause and reflect before reacting. For example, if you feel a surge of anger or frustration, take a moment to breathe and assess the situation. This pause helps you respond more thoughtfully rather than impulsively, leading to better outcomes and healthier interactions. Managing emotions also involves practicing self-regulation. This means learning to control our emotional responses and staying composed even in challenging situations. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own reactions, rather than trying to change external circumstances or other people's behavior. By mastering self-regulation, we not only improve our own well-being, but also create a more positive and stable environment for those around us. Another key aspect is empathy. Understanding that others are often driven by their emotions allows us to approach them with compassion rather than judgment. If someone reacts negatively, consider what might be triggering their emotions. Responding with empathy can help to escalate conflicts and foster more constructive communication. For instance, if a friend lashes out due to stress, instead of reacting defensively, you might offer understanding and support, which can help them feel heard and valued. Practicing gratitude is also a powerful tool for enhancing emotional intelligence. By regularly reflecting on the positive aspects of our lives and expressing appreciation, we shift our focus from negative emotions to positive experiences. This practice helps us maintain a balanced and resilient mindset, making it easier to manage our emotions effectively. Finally, it's important to cultivate a sense of perspective. Emotions can often make situations feel more intense or significant than they are. By stepping back and viewing challenges from a broader perspective, we can reduce the intensity of our emotional reactions and respond with greater wisdom. For example, if you feel stressed about a work project, reminding yourself that it's just one aspect of your life can help you stay calm and focused. So, the next time you encounter strong emotions in yourself or others, remember the Stoic approach to emotional intelligence. Practice self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, gratitude, and perspective. By doing so, you not only enhance your own emotional well-being, but also create more harmonious and understanding relationships with those around you. This Stoic practice fosters resilience and allows us to navigate life's challenges with greater calmness and clarity. The 17th truth is everyone has flaws, including yourself and others. Embracing these imperfections is a fundamental aspect of Stoic philosophy and a key to leading a more fulfilling and harmonious life. Imagine you're working with a team and notice that a colleague consistently makes small errors. Instead of feeling irritated or superior, Stoicism teaches us to accept that everyone, including ourselves, is imperfect. Recognizing our own flaws allows us to cultivate humility and empathy. This understanding fosters a more supportive and collaborative environment. By embracing imperfections, we shift our focus from expecting perfection to appreciating effort and growth. This change in perspective reduces frustration and promotes patience. For example, if you make a mistake at work, instead of being harsh on yourself, you can view it as an opportunity for learning and improvement. This mindset not only enhances self-compassion but also encourages continuous personal development. Approaching others with the same attitude of acceptance and understanding can transform our relationships. When we accept others as they are, flaws and all, we create a more inclusive and supportive community. Embracing imperfections also involves letting go of unrealistic expectations. Perfection is an unattainable standard that often leads to stress and disappointment. By setting realistic goals and appreciating progress, we foster a healthier and more balanced approach to life. It's essential to practice self-forgiveness as part of embracing our flaws. When we forgive ourselves for our mistakes, we free ourselves from the burden of guilt and self-criticism, allowing for more constructive self-reflection and growth. Lastly, recognizing that everyone has flaws promotes a sense of shared humanity. We are all navigating life's challenges and learning along the way. This shared experience can bring us closer and foster a deeper sense of connection and understanding. So, the next time you encounter flaws in yourself or others, remember the Stoic wisdom of embracing imperfections. Practice acceptance, set realistic goals, offer compassion, and focus on growth. By doing so, you not only enhance your own well-being but also contribute to a more understanding and harmonious world. In summary, embracing these harsh truths about people through Stoic philosophy equips us with the resilience to navigate life's complexities with greater peace and wisdom. By understanding that people are inherently self-interested, we manage our expectations and reduce feelings of betrayal. Accepting that not everyone will like us frees us from the pursuit of validation and lets us focus on our own authenticity. Recognizing that people act out of ignorance encourages empathy and patience, while understanding that everyone is fighting their own battle fosters compassion. By accepting that we can't change others and focusing on our own growth, we cultivate a more fulfilling life. Realizing that people will let us down, we build resilience and learn to respond constructively. Managing envy and jealousy through gratitude shifts our focus from comparison to self-improvement. Understanding people's inconsistency helps us practice forgiveness and maintain our peace. By grounding ourselves in our own values and not seeking external validation, we build a resilient self. Acknowledging that some people will use us, we learn to set healthy boundaries and protect our well-being. Accepting that misunderstandings are part of life, we stay true to our intentions and foster patience. Following our own path despite the majority's opinion strengthens our integrity. Handling quick judgments with grace and strength transforms them into opportunities for growth. Balancing honesty with tact ensures effective and respectful communication. Accepting that people change, we adapt and appreciate the present moment. Managing emotions with self-awareness and empathy enhances emotional intelligence. Embracing everyone's flaws, including our own, promotes a supportive and collaborative environment. By internalizing these Stoic truths, we not only enhance our inner peace but also create more harmonious and meaningful relationships. So start applying these Stoic insights daily and watch how they transform your life. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching, and remember to stay resilient and peaceful.